What is a square root for GED math? Imagine you have a number and want to find out what number, when multiplied by itself, gives you that original number. That's what a square root is all about. Think of it as the opposite of squaring a number. For example, if you square 5, you get 25. So, the square root of 25 is 5 because 5 times 5 equals 25. In GED math, understanding square roots is really helpful because they pop up in many problems involving shapes, measurements, and the Pythagorean theorem. The square root symbol looks like a check mark with a line over it, called a radical sign. When you see it followed by a number, it asks, what number times itself equals this? Some numbers are called perfect squares because their square roots are whole numbers. For example, 1 for 9, 16, and 25 are perfect squares because their roots are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 respectively. But not all numbers are perfect squares. Take 18, for example. Its square root isn't a whole number. It's between 4 and 5 because 4 squared is 16 and 5 squared is 25. You can estimate the square root of 18 by seeing where it falls between those two perfect squares. Usually, you can use a calculator to find the exact square root, but knowing how to estimate helps when you don't have one nearby. Now, in the context of the Pythagorean theorem, which is part of GED geometry, square roots are used to find the length of a side of a right triangle. The theorem says that the square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the squares of the other two sides. To find the length of the hypotenuse, you add the squares of the two shorter sides and then take the square root of that sum. For example, if one side is 3 units and the other is 4 units, you square both numbers. 3 squared is 9 and 4 squared is 16. Add those together to get 25. The hypotenuse is the square root of 25, which is 5. So, the hypotenuse measures 5 units. Knowing how to work with square roots makes solving these kinds of problems easier. It also helps with understanding measurements, areas, and distances in geometry. Practice recognizing perfect squares and estimating square roots to get comfortable with these concepts. Remember, the more you practice, the more natural it will feel when you see square roots on your GED test.